Hey guys, it's Jessica. Welcome to Favorite Moment Friday. Hey, so I just did Favorite Moment Friday a few minutes ago, and I did the whole thing on mute. So that was fun. People were messaging me like, hey, we can't hear you. Hey, we can see you, but we can't hear you. So anyway, here I am. Hi, happy Friday. So I'm just going to repeat the whole thing because it was really good, and I hope I can do it justice again. I'm here with my carrot smoothie from Splendid Spoon. It is a carrot ginger chia smoothie, and I'm really enjoying it. It's nice, but the funny thing about it was that I wanted to say is that on the company's website it says, just like carrot cake, only healthier. And I'm here to tell you, I think that's a stretch. Okay, so this doesn't taste like anything like carrot cake. I don't know if the person who wrote that has ever actually tasted a slice of carrot cake, but the two things are not comparable. just to be really honest, right? So, but hey, what are your favorite moments? I had a really interesting moment a couple of days ago. I had my daughter, who's almost 2. We were in the stroller. It's been really pretty weather here in Southeast Texas. Hey, Beth. We were out walking, and randomly the back wheel of the stroller just popped off while we're walking down the street and rolled off into the ditch. And the whole stroller like goes sideways, and she's just like sitting there like kind of uncomfortable and squawky. And I chased the wheel into the ditch and get it, put it back on the stroller. And I'm trying to put it back on. I'm like trying to handle it, because the stroller's heavy and I gotta lift it up and with one hand and somehow, juggle it and balance it. And so I was really struggling, and a couple of cars drove by because it's evening time and people are getting off of work. And finally, the third car that drove by, the truck actually, there was a woman in the truck who slowed down and rolled her window down and asked me, hey, do you need any help? And I said, actually, I really could use a hand. Thank you. And she pulled over to the side of the road, got out of her truck, and helped me hold the stroller up. She held it up while I put the wheel back on so I could, push us home. But it was interesting. It was like that story of the Good Samaritan, like a couple of people came by, and I was like, is anyone going to stop and help me? And she did. And I was so appreciative of that. But, it was a reflection to me around, in what ways am I too busy to notice who is in need? And in what ways am I dismissive of people? Like, because we all do this, right? We get in our own minds and we get caught up in our own heads and our own agendas and our own rush of wherever we're headed or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we don't always pay attention and take the couple, 2, 3, 5 minutes to stop and be neighborly and be helpful and just reach out to someone who might be in need. And so that was a good reflection point for me. And I was so grateful to get to meet her and for the help, because I didn't really know what I was going to do. I was going to get that stroller home with my heavy kid in it. And so that was interesting. But another thing I wanted to share today is that my 11-year-old had a little bit of an altercation at school this week, and he's 11. He's very impulsive. He has a little bit of a temper, and he made some word choices that were not very kind this week. And so we've had that going on. But it was such a reflection to me, the fallout from this incident, because we collectively, when I say we, I'm not even talking about one specific parent or a group of parents or teachers or anything, just in general, we have such a need to condemn one another. It's this insidious need to see fault, to find fault with one another, and to just kind of stay in the need to punish and the need to condemn. And so I wanted to share a story that was told to me a while back by one of my Zen teachers. And the story is of a Filipino woman who lives in a village, and she claims to be able to speak to Christ. And she has this direct line to Christ. She says that she talks to Jesus every day. Well, in the same village, there is a cynical priest. And he says, oh, so you talk to Christ every day? She says, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. He says, well, I tell you what, the next time you talk to him, ask him, what was the sin I committed back in seminary? And she said, okay. And so he walks away very smugly, thinking he has her cornered, like, we'll see about this. Well, so he goes back next week and he asks her, so did you speak with Jesus? And she says, yes, I did. And he said, so what was the sin? Did you ask him? Yes, I did. Well, what did Jesus say was my sin I committed back in seminary? What did he say? And the woman said, Jesus said, I forgot. And that is such like a potent and powerful story. And almost every time I hear it and tell it, I get a little bit overwhelmed with the significance of that, because everything can be reframed through the eyes of compassion. And the Course in Miracles teaches us that there really is no transgression. There is error, which needs redirection and correction, but there is really no sin that needs condemnation and punishment. And we've become so obsessed with this idea of original sin that we have forgotten our original innocence. And it was really striking to me this week how, not even just based on this conversation I've had with some of the parents and moms and teachers based on this little thing, but it's like we as moms do this to ourselves first. There's this mom guilt epidemic that goes around, and we're really like, we condemn ourselves, we second guess ourselves, we have a need to punish ourselves, and we all do this, and we've got to stop it, guys. We've got to stop this, because the healing of the world comes through not the eyes of condemnation and the need to punish and the need to label and the need to criticize. It is going to come from mothers and from women who understand the value of reframing things through the eyes of compassion, and to see things with soft eyes, and to start to really feel into the healing capacity of that. And so if you're doing that, if you're one of these women, and we all kind of tend to get into this rut, right? Because it's just, we're human. But if you're one of these people who's doing this, like calling up other moms and talking about other people's kids, and talking about other moms and talking about this situation, and you're just talking, and you're getting yourself all worked up, and you're just, stop it. Stop it immediately. Your children do not need that from you. The world does not need that from you. We're better than that. I say we because I am you. I'm not up here on my high horse going, oh, I'm so evolved. I'm saying if and when you find yourself tempted to engage in that immature, egocentric behavior, the gossip, then just stop it. And then take some breaths, give it some space, because it will heal if you will make a decision to see it differently. And so I know it's a little preachy, favorite moment Friday, but I'm in the soup of it this week, you guys. Like, I had a grandbaby at my house all day last Friday. That's why I didn't do favorite moment Friday last Friday, because I was helping the new parents with the bathing and the changing and all the things. And it was my joy. She's just a precious girl, and they're doing so well with her. And I had this thing with my 11-year-old, and who would have thought my toddler would be the easiest one this week? She's like, my 2-year-old's like the easiest one. So, hey, I hope you've had a great week. What are your favorite moments? Hey, what are the ways that you beat up on yourself?